Good evening, Star Peoples. I'm your host, friend, and life coach, Mrs.Divine Awakening. All right, today is the 30th day for my journey in the detox process for Yada's full body detox review. I want to start off by addressing a couple of questions that I've had. I've had a few questions in the inbox, and the first question I wanted to answer is about what kind of foods are you allowed to eat while you're doing the detox. So being on the detox, it makes you become a raw vegan. There's only a limited amount of food you can have, and because Yada promotes alkaline diet, of course, all the items are alkaline. So to do a detox, you don't necessarily have to do it with the alkaline food, but for Yada's full body detox, you do have to do alkaline food only. So it's raw fruits and vegetables. And what I did to get ready for my journey is I went online, looked at different raw food recipe websites, and I got recipes from there. So that's something you might want to look into before you do your detox, what you'll actually be able to create with the raw food that you have. Okay, and then the second question I wanted to address was, have I ever heard about hydrocolon therapy? So yes, I've heard about hydrocolon therapy. And with hydrocolon therapy, they literally are sucking the crap out of you. With that being the case, it's the detox process, but not the full process. They're removing the waste out of you. The waste has been sitting inside of you for most of us years, just building up. So our organs have been affected at that point too. So it doesn't require you to necessarily do a full 30 to 60 days of taking in nutrition, such as pure or raw fruit juice or raw vegetable juice. A lot of the places that I researched had you only doing a couple of days worth of that. And I just think that it's also really severe as far as what it can do to you. Detoxification is supposed to be a slow, gentle process to remove the toxins out of your body. Hydrocolon therapy does it really quickly. So if you have a heart condition or a kidney condition, then that can really affect you that way. And it's really new, so a lot of times when things like that are really new, we are guinea pigs as they're doing their research to see what will happen. So I wouldn't suggest it for anybody. I would suggest going the route of the 60-day detox, any detox, just because the journey you go through when you detox builds for a better foundation for you. I'm going to talk about the physical side. And again, for the physical, my skin is getting clearer. My pores are getting smaller. My asthma is getting better. I have asthma, and every time the season changes is when I have really bad asthma attacks. But when I was learning about the importance of the colon in the detox, one of the things that I learned about was that we're taught to believe that you have asthma because something's wrong with your lungs and you can't handle the toxins that are coming in, so it affects your lungs and your breathing. However, it has to do with the colon, is that when the colon gets backed up and toxins come out, they're hitting your lungs, they're affecting your lungs quicker, and then everything that you're breathing in and all the things from the outside that are coming inside are also affecting your lungs. So when you're cleaning up the inside, you should be feeling better as far as asthma goes too. And I haven't had to use my inhaler since I would say since the second day of the apple detox. That was the first time I had to use my inhaler and the last time I had to use my inhaler. And it's the rainy season, it rains, and that's when it normally happens. And my asthma has been fine, and I'm breathing normal. Also, I wanted to address the fact that when you are doing the detox, there's something called the Candida die-off effect, and that's basically showing that your detox is working, but it's also something that's very alarming. And basically when that happens, you can do your own research as to what it is, but when that happens, I wanted to run for a treatment. I wanted to run for medicine, but that's not what you should do. You should just let it clear up naturally, and it does clear up naturally, and continue on with your detox. If you go getting medicine for it, then once again, you're putting toxins into your body, and that's what we're trying to remove. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about for a physical side is I am losing a lot of weight. And with that being said, I was never a skinny person. I was always somebody who was thick or had curves. And it's a hard adjustment to deal with something like that, especially when you didn't understand how much weight you will be losing. And I've always thought my body type to be naturally curving, my hips and my thighs and that kind of area. But naturally, it's fallen off, and it's something you have to get used to, because had I been doing this for weight loss purposes, I would have probably quit already because I would have achieved my mission. But doing this for a spiritual journey, I'm going to keep going through with it, even though I'm losing a lot of weight. And I mean, I hear comments from people saying, are you hungry? What happened to you? Don't even look recognizable. But I'm good. I'm surviving. And that's just something to prepare yourself for if you're not doing it for weight loss purposes. It'll be a dramatic change in your weight and even the way your clothes fit and just the way people react when they see you. Now for the spiritual, I had a dream, and in the dream, a couple of things are happening. It didn't even seem really significant what was happening because it was kind of like I was part of a show that I normally watch. And then at the end of the dream, I was supposed to be putting pegs inside of slots, and they kept calling out certain numbers. And so when I woke up from the dream, I record every dream I have as soon as I wake up, as much as I can remember. So I wrote down everything, and I didn't even have time to review it that day, but I went to go review the dream. I looked at the numbers, wrote them down, and those numbers ended up matching up to certain angels when you talk about number synchronicity. So that's something to watch out for too. If you are having dreams and there's any kind of number references, that's very important. On day 16, okay, so I'm married. So of course, you know, we make love. And on day 16, after an orgasm, I was staring at the ceiling and I started to notice that there were pixels on the ceiling. You literally could see pixels in the ceiling like it was part of a movie. I closed my eyes, opened my eyes, moved left and right, looked around at other things. Everything else looked normal, but the ceiling, every time I looked at it, it had pixels in it. And so after that, I got to reviewing like what that was about, and you understand there's a lot of information out there for you to understand that energy comes from just a different stimuli in your body. And so that includes even sexual energy or energy you can get from when you have sex. So that energy, when your mind is stimulated in a different way, it allows your mind to vibrate at a higher levels than what a normal thought process would be or your normal mind would be. So it does allow you to tap into other realms or other dimensions. I'm detoxing because it is for spiritual reasons. I am also reading spiritual material as I'm detoxing. And so with that, I'm coming across a lot of things that are pertaining to my spiritual journey and that I feel were important for me to learn at this time, such as the Mandela effect and even the Baxter effect. And so with the Baxter effect, that was really something I was glad I learned on this journey, because right now I am eating like a raw vegan. So it's plants and it's vegetables and fruits that I'm eating. With the Baxter effect, it talks about the importance of blessing your food and thanking even Mother Earth for making the food, inviting your food to nourish your body and basically honoring the food before you eat it. I wasn't a really big person on blessing food just because of my religious background. It just wasn't something I felt I had to do all the time. Of course, I do it in family gatherings, but not necessarily every single time. And then with vegetables and fruits, like, you know, it's alive. Like when I give my husband or my son a vegetable smoothie, I tell him it's a drink of life because I know it's alive. However, you don't feel like you're killing anything because you're just eating something that never really walked around. But it is alive and it does notice when you're about to eat it. It does not want to get consumed either, just like animals don't want to get consumed. So blessing the food is something I learned, and I feel like that was very important. When you detox, it starts to not only detox your body, but then it has a trickle-down effect where your mind starts to get detoxed, and so does your soul, which is the point of the spiritual journey, because I know it's not just about the body. And so I started thinking differently. I've been thinking differently since I started meditation. I've been thinking differently since I gave up on meat. However, I'm thinking even more at a different level, because I'm seeing how this detox is important because it applies to certain aspects of your life. So like I was saying, if you go and you do the hydrocolon detox or the hydrocolon cleanse, then you're going to miss out on some stuff, because me going without food that I normally would eat, even me going without certain vegetables and certain fruits that you would think I'm on a detox, I can eat this, because I'm doing it in such a strict way, I was able to see, so not only am I alive and surviving without having 3 meals a day, I'm also not tired like you would think you would be, and I do workouts. And you would think if you're not eating like you normally do, you shouldn't do workout, conserve your energy, but it's not like that. So basically you start to see how a lot of these things that people are telling you should do or that they say you should do don't really have anything backing them up besides somebody saying what you should do. Because if you actually go through it, you see you don't need all the food you've been consuming. You don't need 2,000 calories. You don't need to have every single group on the food pyramid. You don't need all of that. And so what you start to look at that even differently, like they say you need all this to survive and you don't, then you see how that applies to other things. Like, for instance, I'm looking at my detoxification process as, okay, I'm going without the large quantity of food that I'm used to, but I'm surviving. So what else can I go without that I'm used to and still survive? So for me, I'm a life coach, and right now I'm still in school. I'm in training, and you have to pay a certain amount every month for the school. So I'm going basically without half of my income. I'm going about half of my income to pay for school, and that's because it's something I want to do that bad, or I'm going to go ahead and do what I have to do that, even if it means taking half of my income from my home. And my first month of having to pay for school was last month, and I've been surviving. And that was something I was wondering, like, okay, am I going to have to get my child out of his programs? Am I going to his after school activities? Am I going to have to watch how much I'm spending on food? Am I going to watch how much I'm doing when it goes to activities that we're doing outside of the home? Or will I have enough for bills? Things like that. But we've been fine. We've been surviving. So you realize that you do live in abundance, whether you think of it every day or not. We're just so used to hoarding what we have or being worried about what happens if we go without. So with that in mind, I know that me taking half of my income to pay for school because that's what I want to do, I can definitely catch up on things like my student loans and any other debts that I may have, because they're not even how much I'm paying right now. So if I can take half my income and pay that, I can definitely take a portion of my income to get my debts in order. So detoxing your body is good for your mind too. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the law of attraction. So we all know what the law of attraction is, and if you don't, do your research. And with the law of attraction, I've noticed since I started meditating how much I've been able to manifest in my life. Increased during the detox so far for the 30 days. It was increasing in the 15 days, but it increased a lot since the 30 days because basically everything I'm saying, I have to watch what I'm saying because it comes. And so as it comes, it may not be exactly the way I anticipated it. Or, like, for example, I was talking about, I was about to do a fundraiser, and so I was saying how I was going to be a good public speaker. And after the fundraiser, I'm approached by a lady who does a podcast. She does the Cats Out Show. It's a podcast on intellectual radio. And she invited me to come to her show and speak on her show about what I'm doing. And so that right there, that was another public speaking event that I had to do. And then after that, they ended up hearing about the detox that I was doing and seeing the videos. And now I was offered a chance to do a seminar, a mind, body, and soul detoxification seminar. And so it's going to talk about relationships, talk about how to get out of a toxic relationship, how to detox your mind, your body, and your soul. And so I'm very excited about that. That's coming up on June 3rd. If you're in the Chicago area, then definitely check out my website and come to the seminar if that's something that you can get to. Detoxing, a lot, you're vibrating at a higher rate. You're able to manifest things a lot quicker. So that's what I've noticed on my 30-day journey. I'll be back for day 45, and I'm almost done. I was so excited on Friday when I celebrated my 30th day of the detox. So I see the end of the tunnel, and when I get to my 60 days, I now have a choice. And that's another part of the law of attraction, is that I kept telling everybody I'm a vegetarian, but an aspiring vegan. So with the detox, not only did I become vegan, I became raw vegan. And I don't know how long I thought it was going to take me to become vegan, because it was hard enough for me to adjust from cooking with meat to cooking full course meals with no meat. So I'm still getting used to that, but being thrown into being a raw vegan, I see, A, I'm already here, it can be done. And then B, with me having such limited food options, I'm able to say, okay, if I paired this with this, I would be fine. I wouldn't even worry about food. So I know how to take my simple diet or simple menu options to make bigger ones when I'm able to add on more things from the vegan menu. So when I'm done with this detox, I literally have the freedom of knowing that I've been to the raw vegan side. I've been a vegan. Vegetarian, a meat eater. I have the choice to see where I want to be. I've had the choice to experience what they've all done for me mentally, physically, and spiritually, and to decide what I want to do. And I feel like that's great because I feel free. Free to make my own choice and free not to feel like I'm limited. Like I'll never be able to become vegan because this, and this. So I'm here, I'm a raw vegan, and I have the choice on what I want to do. I do understand that there are a lot of different detoxes out there, The point of me sharing my journey is not only to hold me accountable to what I said I was going to do, which was to detoxify for spiritual reasons, but also to encourage others to detox because I see the benefits and I know the health benefits that there are from it. Now, I am a life coach, so I do understand that people have their own perspective about life and about the things that they feel that they can and cannot do. But also as a life coach, I know that there is a greater person within you. And it's my job as a life coach to help pull out the greatness within you and to help you see and understand that. So the Yada Detox diet might not be for you if you feel it's too strict. However, detox, find some way to detox. Because the challenge of life is the act of stepping up to the challenge itself. Believe in yourself because I believe in you. Good night, star pupils.